Sweet. All right. Can everybody hear me clearly? Sweet. Sweet. All right, guys. So today, basically we're going to be going over some organic marketing principles, and we're going to be mainly focused on Facebook today. And really just to keep things pretty flowing. I'll open up times for questions, but first I'll just dive into everything, and then I'll open up for questions, and then we'll just keep that kind of flow going. If you have questions, pop them in the chat. That way I can answer them if you don't get to ask the question. But yeah, so basically, just to keep this quick and flowing, there are many different types of outreach in the online marketing realm, right? And when I say outreach, I don't just mean you sending a bunch of messages to people, right? We're going to be going over a flow of how to get conversations started without you necessarily needing to reach out to people, right? So there's a ton of different methods, whether you're relying on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on email marketing, or even on YouTube, right? There's always a way to make the puzzle work, right? One of the most effective, if not the most, is to help your prospects, and you want to help people gain, let's say you get a client, right? You want to help them get more clients organically before you want to help them get clients through paid. Although paid moves a lot faster than organic, you still want to leverage both, right? So if you don't know what organic is, organic means it's free marketing, right? You're not necessarily paying with money, but you're most likely going to be paying with time and a lot of energy. Money and paid advertising, you still have to put energy into it, but it's a shortcut to organic, right? But when you build an organic foundation, it's a lot stronger than building a paid foundation, because people will trust you a hell of a lot more than when you're basically paying to get their attention, right? And organic methods are often used by businesses that are in the range of $0 to $100,000, right, per month, right? Some people shortcut that way, but most people using organic heavily are between $0 to $100,000 per month, right? So some of the best in the industry, that are doing 10 million plus, they will still tell you it's the best because they understand the foundation that comes with organic marketing through different social medias. Let me get to the drawing board. That way, I can start painting the picture a lot better for you guys. Give me one quick second. Let me pull the whiteboard up. Let me know if you guys can see this Miro board. I can't hear you if you're talking.
I see it.
Yeah, I can hear
Oh.
it. Yeah, but no, I can see it, not hear it.
Yes, I can see it, but it's zoom out. You need to little bit zoom in.
Gotcha. Give me one quick second. I'll zoom in as I talk, and you don't need to read. I'm basically going to be drawing. On what's on the left is basically some notes I wrote down for myself, so I can keep myself on track with everything. But
All right.
Basically today's main focus is going to be on the Facebook flywheel. And the way flywheel is basically means the more wind you add to the flywheel, the more it's going to be spinning, right? So give me one quick second. Let me start just pulling out some sticky notes for you guys. So basically the primary Facebook method, and the way you would do this, let's say you guys are all starting on Facebook, you don't have a ton of, you don't have a ton of authority yet, you don't have anything, right? A lot of businesses will recommend, I'll say businesses, but when I say businesses, I mean a lot of the programs out there, they'll recommend Facebook because Facebook is one of the best places to start if you have 0 followers, to start to build immense authority, just leveraging other people's efforts, right? And you can do this on Instagram as well, right? You're leveraging the influencers that have millions and thousands of followers. You're leveraging their followers to build your own audience by, it'd be a little bit more difficult on Instagram because you'd be reaching out to people, then they look at your page. Whereas on Facebook, you can join groups and basically start to just fill up these groups with your own stuff. And what will happen is people will start getting to know you. They'll start becoming more familiar with your name, with your brand, with the type of content that you're posting, right? So let me see if I can pull this up here. Give me one quick second. All right, I'm going to start writing things down for you guys, take notes, and then I'll open up some room for questions in a little bit. So let's see. One quick second. All right, so let's say you already had a Facebook account. It'll be a lot easier than someone who's making a brand new Facebook account, because Facebook will automatically assume you're a bot until you've got some good stuff going on your account, right? Because that's just their algorithm and it protects them from bots, right? So typically what you want to do is Facebook groups. You'll join about 15 to 20 in a specific space. There's tons and tons of Facebook groups in all different spaces, but your area of focus, let's say you want to work with fitness coaches, right? Or you're working with a fitness coach, you want to join groups relating to fitness. There's all types of fitness, right? But the more specific you go, right? You don't want to just, let's say you're working with a fitness coach, you don't want to just go and join someone that's, a group that talks about weight loss, right? You want to get into the mind of the business's ideal clients and ask yourself, where would they be, right? So they would not be inside of a coaching group, but they would likely be in a weight loss tricks group, or how to lose weight safely and quickly, or weight loss habits, right? And, if you do even more research, you may find companies that help with weight management and find some of their clients that are also purchasing one or two products, but still not receiving any type of coaching. So this is, and, this could be something like Weight Watchers, right? That's a well-known brand, but they're selling a product, whereas their people are likely not getting any type of coaching, right? So you join 15 to 20 groups, right? And move this down here. 15 to 20 groups. Now, what you're going to be doing in these groups is you want to be posting 3 to 5 times a week per group, right? And let me just to make this easier for you guys, you want to narrow down to the top 5 to 7 groups that are giving you the most engagement, right? And from there, what you're going to want to be doing is from the ones that are engaging, right? And before I'm pretty sure you guys are asking, well, what type of post should I be posting? So there's a few different types, but there's top 3 for just narrowing the best groups, right? So the top 3 that you want to be posting in these 15 to 20 groups is going to be value posts, which are posts that are giving people an essence of value, right? They're getting the right information they need. They're getting literally anything that they would find valuable in that specific niche. And a little bit later, I'll show you guys how to just mind map a ton of content and just come up with a constant stream of content, right? So you want to be posting value posts, story posts, and lastly,
Is value posts
Q&A posts.
essentially just educational?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then what's story posts? Is that talking about your own life and experience?
So story posts would be your own life experience. Let's say you're talking about your weight loss journey. Here's how I did this. And you're basically just telling your story. If it's your client, you're giving your client story. If you have a bunch of clients, here's how these clients did X, Y, and Z, right? So basically you're telling a story, but you're not asking for anything. You're not saying, go follow me. You're not saying, start messaging me. You're not doing any of that, because what can happen is a lot of these groups, the moderators will kick you out because they don't want you phishing their clients, right? So you want to be smart about this, right? So once you've gotten and I'll also share a tracker, that way you guys can, let's say you start doing this, you can track which groups you're posting in every day. That way you're not like, oh, did I post in this one? Did I post in that one? So these are the main 3, right? There's a few different types of posts, which I'll go over a little bit later, but you don't want to start doing this until you've narrowed your top 5 to 7 groups. And then from there, once you've gotten your groups, you're posting 3 to 5 times a week, right? Now, what you're going to want to do is start creating trust, right? And the way you start creating that trust, and some of you guys will remember the 7-hour rule, but the 7-hour rule in marketing is basically the more someone sees your content, the more they watch, the more they listen, the more they read, as if it adds up to them spending about 5 to 7 hours just engaging and indulging in your stuff, they're more likely to want to listen to you, to want to buy your stuff, and to want to work with you, because they've started to trust you a lot more because they've spent that amount of time engaging and diving into your content, right? And so how you want to create trust, right? So with Facebook, once you start getting engagement, right? So in your post, you're getting engagement, right? In that engagement, you're looking for just likes and people that comment. And obviously you want to pay attention to what they're commenting and see if they're actually looking for help or anything, right? So engagements and comments. Now, what you want to do is shoot everybody everyone who likes and everybody who comments, send them a friend request. And you want to limit, like, let's say you get 100 likes, or because you joined a group that's full of 100,000 people, you post something great and you got like 100 likes, send 10 per hour. That way Facebook doesn't flag your account as a bot, right? So send friend requests to people who engage. Next, what you're going to want to do is, and what's the reason for my fault, the reason for sending the friend request is because now you're going to want to build your own little CRM. And that CRM is basically everyone that you sent a friend request to. And the CRM is basically customer relationship management system, right? And there's tons of ways to do this. And there's tons of systems out there, but your friends now become your own little CRM without you having to use any paid software to manage every single lead. Because now you know you're sending friends to people that are actively interested in what you're talking about, right? And if you're doing this for a business, that CRM becomes a part of that business's system, right? So the next step is now your personal posts on your profile. You're still posting in these groups every day or 3 to 5 times a week, but now the next step is the types of posts that you're posting on your personal page. So personal page posts, and what you can start posting more in the 5 to 7 groups that you've narrowed it down to. So personal page posts and top groups. And you want to be really careful, right? When it comes to, first I'll list out all the posts, and then I'll tell you which ones to be careful about when it's on other people's profiles, not profiles, other people's groups versus your own profile. Because on your own profile, there's no moderators. No one's going to tell you what to post and what not to post, unless it's wrong and and it's like Facebook is flagging you. But when it's on your own profile, these are the types of posts that will work best. And typically I'll write them down. Give me 1 second. Let me find them. So you've got call to action posts. You've got 2-step posts, and I'll explain what these are in a bit. These work on every platform, right? So call to actions, 2-step posts, case study posts. Some of them are self-explanatory, but I'll go over each one. You've got testimonials. You've got personal posts, which is, let's say you went traveling and you just took a picture, you posted a picture and you wrote a short story about the trip, right? That's personal. Then you've got value again, story again, and of course, Q&A, right? The purpose of every post is to get people to raise their hand and tell you that they're interested, whether it's you doing it, or if you're the growth specialist on that team and you are instructing the appointment setter of the team to, hey, look, every time somebody likes, reach out to them. Every time somebody leaves a comment, reply to their comment and then ask if they want to continue the conversation over DMs, right? So you're basically instructing the appointment setter that you have on your team. Every time this happens, do this, write it down so that you don't have to keep explaining yourself, right? So a call to action post is basically, once they're done reading the post, you have a call to action at the end. Hey, if you like this post and are interested in learning more, DM me or email me or this and that, right? You're basically giving them something to do. You're telling them to do something once they're done engaging. So a two-step post is basically, hey, are you interested? Do you want this free guide? Do you want this free course? Do you want this free whatever? That's step one. Send me or DM me X, Y, and Z to get this. So you're giving them step one, and step two is they need to DM you X, Y, and Z in order to get the free guide or whatever free resource that you're giving to them, right? You've seen people do this on YouTube. Hey, do you want this? Do you want that? Well, just go over to this page, do this and that. That's a two-step post, right? They have to do something, input something, give you their email, give you something in order to receive whatever it is that you're offering for free, even if it's paid, right? Case study is basically telling the story. Let's say you're working with a client and they have tons of case studies. Well, choose their 5 best stories or their 5 best client results. Tell the story of how this client went from point A to point B, right? That's a case study post. A testimonial will be a post. Well, let's say a client of theirs say, thank you, man. Thank you. I love this so much. Like whatever. That's a testimonial. Or the client records a short video telling them or telling you or telling the world how much they loved your product, your offer, your service, right? You would post that. Or if it's a picture of something, let's say day 1, day 90, how much weight they lost, right? And then you write the person saying, thank you so much, whatever they said, right? And then value post, you already know. Personal post, you already know. Story post, you already know. And a Q&A is basically a short question. These can get a lot of engagement if they're done right, you know? And this is going back to the Facebook groups. If you're posting these types inside of really, really large groups, you're going to get a lot of people to raise their hand. And there's ways to be strategic about it, right? So let's say you only want to talk to agency owners and you're in a group full of 100,000 potential agency owners. Are you an agency owner? And now you get people saying, yes, I am. 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 Whatever, right? So now that's a strategic way of getting a ton of comments, getting a ton of people raising their hand of what they might be interested in, right? Again, you're looking for the people that engage, right? And then now this is where the sales process starts, right? Or, you know, it already started from step 1, but this is where it really starts to narrow down, right? So this is where you have DM conversations happening, and you guys already have the frameworks inside of the program, whether it's you having these conversations, or if you're a growth specialist, someone on your team is having these conversations, right? So the DM process starts. Then you have the call. And then last but not least, you have cash collected. Whether it's for you, your own offer, your own business, your own agency, right? And you're the one taking the call. Or if you're just a growth specialist on the team and you're sending them the calls and they're collecting the cash on the calls, right? So I'll kind of break this up for you guys into a few simple compartments, right? So this first stage, actually, let me make it on the bottom. This first stage right here. Let me see if I have it right. Yeah. This first stage right here is all about building familiarity, right? This can be done on any platform, especially when it's short pieces of content, right? But to go back to Facebook, your posts are just focused on creating familiarity. You want people to see your face every day. You want people to see your posts all the time, and they're constantly reading and engaging and watching your posts, your content, right? Whether it's yours or the business owner that you're working for. The next stage is building trust. is trust, right? And trust kind of starts after familiarity, because now they've been seeing you more frequently and they see you're dropping knowledgeable stuff. And this is why we're rotating the type of posts. You can post mainly value posts, right? That's going to create a lot of trust because you're constantly dropping value, right? If there's 2 to 3 types of posts that you really, really like, or that you've seen give you the best results, you can stick to them. You don't have to do all of these, right? But these are some of the ones that you can do. So now you've created trust. The last part, which is this, which is the sales, right? And the main reason, let me zoom out a little bit. The main reason you want to have familiarity and trust is so that you can create authority, right? Whether it's for you or a business owner that you're working for, you always want to shoot for creating authority. And authority isn't always by the amount of likes and followers that you have. It's about, well, in a way it is, right? But let's say you're not getting a ton of likes, but people are constantly watching your videos or they're constantly reading, right? That's authority, that they see you as an authority. You're constantly dropping stuff. You're constantly giving them valuable information. Now they're like, man, this guy, he or this girl or this business, they really know their stuff and they can actually help me, right? Now, you know, to make this more simple, I'll draw a little ladder right here to show you guys. Okay, to show you guys really just the difficulty to get the sale. I'll say the higher up you go on this ladder, right? So you got familiarity plus trust plus authority gives you the most, right? It gives you the most chance of closing the deal. But let's say down here, the first stage of the sale is getting engagement. That's the first stage. Now you've sold them. They liked it, or they commented, or they shared it, right? But what we really care about is the like and the comment, right? Next, and this is for Facebook specifically, but again, you can apply this to all platforms, right? If they follow you, if they subscribe, that's them becoming a friend. But on Facebook, the next stage of the sale is sending them a friend request and they accept the friend request, right? Let me zoom in, right? Next stage is the DM, right? They've now responded to you. So that's the next stage of the sale, right? Then they agreed to book a call with you or the business that you're working with. You're almost at the sale, right? Now, the last stage is collecting the cash, right? The more of this down here, familiarity, trust, and authority that you create, the easier it's going to be to get this, because they've trusted you so much that now, like, they're constantly watching your content. They like, to give you an example that's not in the business space, Mr. Beast, I'm sure you all know him, and I constantly tell you guys about this, right? Mr. Beast posts so much content. Now, I'll say so much, but he'll post once a month, and it's like a really, really powerful video. Everybody's watching it. Everybody loves it, right? And because it's Mr. Beast, he has a ton of familiarity, right? His fans love him. They trust him a lot, and he has massive amounts of authority. Every time he launches, let's say, a new business, a restaurant, a t-shirt business, a movie, a TV show, any of these would work for him because he's created so much familiarity, trust, and authority with his audience that they're willing to buy whatever he's willing to sell, right? And now you might be saying, well, how quickly is it going to take for this to work? If you guys remember on the last call, I explained the process, right? And how you have these loops. So you have the 3 to 4 weeks, and then you have the, I'll say 6 to 9, right? The first 3 to 4 weeks, potentially, right? You might not see any results, but if you're constantly doing this, week 6 and 9 is where you're going to get a ton of more happening, right? You can break this down
I've
to
got a
weeks 1 and
question.
2. You don't see a ton of results, but week 3 and 4, you see a ton of results. You said something?
Yeah, I've got a question. Can
Yeah.
you repeat posting the same content to get
In the same
repetition
group.
in the same group or different? Yeah, in the same group. Yeah, let's go for
So
that.
if it's your own group, probably not. But again, this all depends on the size of the group, right?
Yeah, that's what I
And
mean.
even with your own Instagram profile or even YouTube, it depends on the size of your audience, because now let's say you repurpose old content, new people are going to see it, old people might not see it, right?
Yeah.
So if you're in a group with 100,000 people, you can cycle the same posts every 1 week or every other week, right?
Mhm.
So just to was that your only question?
Yeah. What about different? Is it different for different groups? So can you recycle content in different groups? Same
Oh yeah,
content.
100%. So let's say you're in 5 different groups. Monday you post a value post in this one.
Does it matter on the time of day as well?
So all of that is gonna have to be experimented, right? So let's say you join a
Mhm.
group, you post in the morning, you don't get a lot of engagement. You post in the afternoon, you get a ton. You post at night, you don't get a lot. So now you know if you're posting in the afternoon, that's when you're getting the most engagement. Make sense?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sweet. Any other questions?
Uh, no, no, that makes sense now. Yeah.
Sweet. Anybody else have questions?
No.
All right, sweet. So let me kind of, I'll say, finish up this section right here with this, and then I'll get into constantly coming up with content, and to make it easier on yourself to not have to break down and try to come up with new fresh pieces of content every time. Let me find the eraser. There we go. All right, so right here is going to be the best way to come up with constant content, right? So let me draw this right here. I mean, it's already drawn, but I'll draw a bigger one to just explain this a little bit more for you guys. So you got point A, and then you've got point B. And when I say point A and point B, I mean the type of transformation that you or the business you're working with is going to give to a client, right? Point A is going to be all the pain and all of the really just the problems that they're facing right here, right? So all the problems listed out, how they feel, what they're going through in their life. Go as detailed as you want with this, right? Just list them all out. If it's a list of 10, if it's a list of 50, if it's a list of 100, list it all out. Now, point B, which is where they want to be, or which is your client's transformation or your transformation, right? You list them all out. And then now you can literally create content just off of this stuff and explaining how this is a pain point that they might be facing right now. This is where the story posts come in, right? Hey, are you feeling like this right now? Are you feeling like this right now? Are you feeling like this right now? That's your hook, right? And then this is how I can help you go from this feeling to this result, this feeling to this result. And that's your content. And you just type it down, you write it down, and now you record it into a video. Or if it's a written post, now it's written post, right? Another thing you
Uh,
can do, let's say
I'm sorry.
someone is at, let's say 0, and you're trying to help them get to 10K in the e-com niche, right? You would list out everything they need to go from 0 to 10K in the e-com niche. And now let's say they need this thing, 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 right? What you can do is each one is a form of content that's adding value, but the difference is you don't have to post it in order, right? Let's say you post this one first, now you post this one next, then you go here, then you go there. The reason is you may give them everything they need and you give away the entire solution, they're going to come to you, or they're going to come to the business because they still need your help to put it all together. Even if you gave it to them step by step, they're still going to come to you because maybe they have questions. Maybe they actually want you to walk them through the process. You could have explained it clearly in your content, but they want you to actually hold their hand and walk them through the process, right? And to give you guys another way of constantly coming up with content. So we'll go back to ecom, right? Give me 1 second. So we'll go back to ecom, right? And ecom. So let's say you're helping a business in the ecom niche, or you want to help businesses in the ecom niche. So you know exactly what they need, whatever, right? So one thing they need, let's say they need ads, right? You know, they need good ads. Okay. Now, you know, they need to actually have a good product, right? Now, you know, they need, let's say, a good landing page, right? Which is when someone goes to their website, right? That's their landing page. Let's say they need good images for their products. Literally, you're listing out everything they need, right? They need good copy, which is the words that sell people, right? And then they need a good offer, right? So you just now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 either posts, or you have 6 categories of posts, right? So let's break this down even more. On their landing page, they need good content. They need good images. They need good products, right? Of images, right? They need good copy. They need good links, right? Making sure everything works, right? Now, your posts, how to make sure your page is optimized, how to have links, how to have good copy, how to have good products, or what products make the best on whatever, right? And now you're just listing all this out. And again, if you guys remember, I think I said it was 5 or 6, right, of types of hooks for posts, or what you can use to come up with questions, is the who, what, where, why, who, what, where, why. I mean, you could also add when, who, what, where, when, why, and how to the beginning of anything to turn it into a hook that it's gonna grab their attention, right? Who you need in order to do this, what you need in order to do this, where you need to be posting this, where you need to go, where you need to have links on your website. That way people actually want to click on them. Why you need to have a solid landing page in order to make sales. How to set up a landing page, right? So now, if you have a hard time coming up with content, now you literally create a mind map, map it out, right? Whatever industry you're in, or whatever you're trying to create content for, map it out. You can either circle it, or you can do what I did here and put the pain of point A and the solution of point B. And then you list it all out, and you use the hooks in the beginning of each thing, whether you're asking a question or you're making a statement. Let me see if I covered everything before I open up for questions. Yeah. So after this, if you guys have questions, if you don't have questions, I'll go on Facebook and I'll show you guys some examples of groups, as well as some examples of posts that people have posted. And if you guys want, which I already planned on doing this, but I can create templates for each type of post. That way you guys can look back at them, whether it's video or if it's written. I'll create some templates for you guys. That way you guys can have them inside of the program, to either leverage for yourself or to leverage for your own clients. All right, so I'm going to open it up for questions, and then I'll show you guys some examples on Facebook. Oh, one more thing. When it comes to posts, you can throw shade for virality, right? And when I say throw shade, I mean, like, let's say you have one process, right? Let me go here. Let's say you have one process and somebody else has another process, right? Let's say this person uses paid ads and you're using organic, right? you're throwing shade at them using paid ads by basically saying paid ads doesn't work, start using organic, and here's why. And when you throw shade, you have a higher chance of going viral because one, you're throwing shade at another process, right? And everyone who's using this process, they're either going to be mad at you or they're going to start listening, or they're going to start reading, or they're going to start commenting and throwing hate, right? And it goes the other way. If you're using ads and you're going, hey, this is why organic sucks and you need to switch to a paid ads or you're going to go broke. Now you're throwing shade again, right? You're basically saying this process is better than this one, even though both processes work, right? I know people that are making over $500,000 a month just through organic. I know people that are doing the opposite with just paid ads, right? So literally you throw shade. And this, let's say it's the fitness industry, right? This is why, let's say you're preaching that you can eat whatever you want and still look good. This other person is preaching that you need to only eat a certain way in order to look good. Now you're throwing shade at the people that are trying to eat a certain way, trying to look good, and say, hey, look, I look good and I eat whatever I want. Stop being one of those people that tries to manage what they eat and just start eating whatever you want. Now you're going to get the people that are going to start throwing hate because you're talking about this and that. They're like, oh, no, that doesn't work. Oh, you need to be vegan, or you need to eat meat only. You know, you have all these different little micro groups and micro niches of people that will love a certain thing because they're like, huh, you just opened up my mind to something new. Or, man, you're a liar. You're lying to people. Why are you lying to people, right? And then you guys already know this, but the 3 types of posts that go viral all the time, no matter what platform, is recreational, relatable, and reactionable content. So yeah. Any questions? Byron.
All right, so on some of my let's say some of the content that I post, I'll be getting like, I don't know, 90 to 100, like maybe even like 50 to 100 views, which isn't that good. But I'll be following like the things that at the beginning I'd say like something like, well, if you want to get money, then like blah, that's like a hook or something like that.
Mhm.
Then I what's it? Then I try to like, and then I explain afterwards, and that I use captions and all that, and I try to get like more views on it, but
Mhm.
it's not really working. I don't know why.
So now let me kind of just draw this out for some of you guys, especially when it comes to video content, right? Everything comes down to the visuals or the value that you're giving to people. But again, the hook is always going to be the most important part, right? So when it comes to the hook, it all comes down to positioning on the hook, right? And when I say positioning, it could be what you're saying, how you're saying it, what you're doing when you're saying it, how you're presenting it, whether it's editing or literally anything, right? And let me give you a solid example on just words, right? How to make $10, right? This is a hook for some people, right? Now, let me write this a different way. Do this to make the last $10 you'll do this and make the last $10 you'll ever need to make. Do this and make the last $10 you'll ever need to make. Right? So there's a big difference than how to make $10, right? Let me add 10,000 to make it more shiny, right? How to make $10,000. Okay, do this and make the last $10,000 you'll ever need to make. Now, you might be asking, well, how did I come up with that? Literally, it's just playing around with words and playing around with different ways of saying things. Now, obviously, when it comes to copy, I've been doing it a lot longer than you. So it might take you a little bit longer to get good at coming up with great hooks and great video titles, right? But the more you experiment, the more you practice. And another thing you can do is go to the big influencers that are constantly dumping viral content, look at their best videos, write down the hooks that they have, and then create your own from what they have, right? So you see how right there, how to make $10,000. Okay, it's going to grab people's attention. Do this and make the last $10,000 you'll ever need to make. Now you've just grabbed the person that was scrolling. They're probably like, oh, how to make 10, yeah, this is just another person talking about how to make $10,000, versus now you're telling them do this and they'll make the last $10,000 they'll ever need to make. Now you've reframed it, but you're basically giving them the same video. You might be posting the same piece of content in both videos, but the hook is what's more important, right? Now, let's say you got their attention, right? But now they're dropping off and they're no longer watching, or let's say they're reading, but they're no longer reading. It's all about, so let me kind of break this down right here of two different frameworks that you guys can use. You got hook, story, or value. Hook, story, value. And this is sections of a video, right? So you have the hook of the video, which is like the first 3 seconds or the first minute. You've got the story / value, and then you've got your offer / call to action, right? Which is like for more, follow for more, yada, yada, yada. Now you have this version, which will work a lot better if you get it right, which is hook, story, value, rehook them again, more story, value, and then offer, call to action. And then if it's a really, really long video, you know, and you're mastering this, right, you just double again, right? And the better you get at this, you see someone like Mr. Beast. And for me, I was watching a movie the other day. I think it was Die Hard. I forget which one it was, but right at the beginning of the movie, they caught your attention with an explosion, or they caught your attention with something, right? So now they've got your attention, you're watching, and they understand which parts of the movie is going to start to die down. This goes with your content. You understand which parts people might be falling off after practice. Now, okay, how can I rehook people and get them back into focus, into watching the video or listening to me again, or continue reading, right? So you have your hook, you have story value, you rehook them again, more story value, you rehook them again, and you can repeat this cycle no matter how long the video is. If it's 1 minute, 5, 10, 15, 20, 1 hour, 10 hours, if you can master rehooking people and keeping them engaged in the video the entire time before you make your offer and call to action, the better. And maybe you never make an offer or a call to action and you just keep dropping videos and just giving people a ton of value. Everyone is waiting for a call to action. Let's say you've posted 100 videos and now you finally made a call to action, which is go buy or go purchase, go to my website, get a t-shirt. Now people are more likely to just want to buy that t-shirt because you've spent so much time giving them so much value that now it's a human thing where you've gotten so much from someone and you just feel like you need to give back to them, right? And in this day and age, money tends to be one of the best ways to give back to people. So if you can tell people there's some way they can support you, or some like, oh, support my Patreon, or go follow me on this to help me, whatever, or buy my t-shirt. Like you'll see so many big influencers in the entertainment space. The value they're giving people, it's not education, but it's good feelings, it's good emotions. So because they're giving people so many good emotions, now when they say go buy my t-shirt or go buy my, my coffee cup with a logo on it, they're like, man, okay, let me do it, because you've given them so much joy, so much laughter, whatever, that now they feel like they have to pay you back in some way or one way or another. So yeah, Byron, I see your hand is still raised.
Yeah, so basically, so at the start I would say usually like, well, that's just like just an example. I might not have said this, but as an example, I'd say something like, okay, so you're not making enough money. So then I go on to like the story or whatever. So that's my hook. So I say, okay, you're not making enough money. So that's my hook. How do I re-hook if I've already said something like that?
And you say, so you rehooked, right? So a good example of rehook, right? And basically it's asking like, it's going back to the questions, right? So let's say, so you're not making enough money right now. This is why. Now I've just given you the reasons why you're not making enough money right now. And then I'm going to rehook you. This is how you can start making more money now. And now I just rehooked you by telling you, first I told you why. Now I'm telling you how to improve your situation. So let's say it's in the fitness space. Here's why you're losing weight. Now I've just given you a ton of reasons why you're losing weight. This is how to start gaining weight again. And here's a better way. Here's a better way to start gaining weight. Here's a healthier way to gain weight, right? I've just rehooked you after giving you the negatives. Now, let's say I've given you positives in the beginning of the video. Here's how to gain more weight. Here's how to gain healthy weight. Here's how to gain more muscle. Now I rehook you. Don't do this or you're going to lose all that muscle you just gained, right? So I just hooked you again by either giving you a negative or I can give you a positive, right? Let's say first I start with here's how to gain healthy weight. Okay, I've given you 2 reasons, or here's 3 ways to gain healthy weight. Once I get you to the third, I can say something like, stay tuned to the end to learn how to gain more muscle while also gaining healthy weight, right? So I've just rehooked you before I gave you the last one. So now you're like, huh, I really want to listen now. So now I'm giving you 3 more of how to do X, Y, and Z. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So I might record a draft today, but I'm going to then. So I'll say
Do
like,
you guys want me to do a post review channel where you can just drop your posts and then we all review it?
oh yeah,
Definitely.
that sounds great. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
All right, I'll create it right now.
So
But yeah,
Some of the
any other
posts that
questions?
no, not from me.
Sweet, sweet. How you guys liking this session so far?
interesting.
Yeah, I
Understanding
really
a lot
like
more,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. So this is what which I'm
Very
saying
informative.
last session.
Say again, Syed?
No, this is what the exact thing which I was stating to you to come up with this kind of a stuff.
Gotcha.
This actually reminds me of the lesson we had into college today. I think we're doing like pitches. Even though I do a completely different course, we're doing like this thing called tutorial. It's like completely irrelevant to the course, but it's something we do. And today we're doing pitches, and they were just telling us to pitch an idea. So I had to pitch why you should hire me as a person, and I actually used, the doctor method that you showed us,
Yeah.
like press into the wound. I actually used that as a pitch, and I like won a couple chocolates. So I mean, like, I'm starting to like use more of this stuff into like my day-to-day life. So it's like crazy.
Nice,
And it's
dude.
like
That's
this.
awesome.
I can see this from the pitch we were doing. So like I was actually doing some of this, like the hook. I did the hook. I told a story. I asked a rhetorical question. I then went back to a hook, and then I ended it. So it's mad.
Dude, good job, man.
And it's worth that chocolate, man. It was delicious.
Dude, awesome. Sweet. So I just created the group for you guys. Let me know if you see it. It's content review channels inside of the Discord channel. Now I'll give you guys some, like, a few little like things that come to where people want to be in their ideal life, and some pain, right? This can go for any type of content, right? You've got pain, you've got doubt, you've got the cost of something, you've got their desire, you've got money, you've got support, and you've got trust, right? All these things fall under the type of pain that they could be experiencing, and it likely has to do with, I'll state it again, some type of pain, some type of doubt they have, some type of cost, right? Maybe they're spending too much money trying to achieve something, or they've spent so much money in the past. Now you're telling them they need to spend, this is the last dollar they're ever going to need to spend in order to finally start achieving their dream, or to finally start gaining the whatever, right? Maybe it's a specific desire they have. Maybe they really want that, that $1 million car, right? And there's different niches, right? Everything, like if it's $1 million car, there's someone selling that $1 million car to someone making tens of millions, right? But again, they have to tap into that niche to sell that $1 million car, right? Then you have money. Maybe they want to make more money, right? Maybe it's support. Maybe they want to be around the right community of people that can actually understand their pain, right? And you have a lot of creators that focus heavily on doing this, right? You have the creators that speak specifically on certain issues, right? And then they'll create a community on Facebook, on Discord, on Telegram. Join this community where other people are also sharing their ideas on this specific problem or on this specific topic, right? And you have the political people. If all they want to do is talk about politics, and you have a ton of content going out on politics, now you've created a community where they can just talk politics with people that are thinking the exact same way as them. Now you have the group, or I meant not group, you have the content plus the community. Now let's say you have a 10,000 followers or subscribers, but you have 1,000 people in that group. The 1,000 people in the group, 10% are willing to buy whatever you have to offer. So now let's say you pitch them something else. Let's say you pitch a course. Or now these are strategies that you can go to the business you're working with, right? You pitch a course, or you pitch a product, or you pitch a program, or you pitch like anything relating to that niche. Let's say it's the political niche. Now you've just created a short course on how to not lose your train of thought having political conversations and always win every single time. That's your hook. Now you've caught the people that are really political, but then you have the bottom 10% that need help, right? Maybe they just want to speak better, right? Maybe they just want to, let's say it's a language problem or language barrier. Now you're helping them articulate better, right? There's all types of offers that you can make in any industry, in any niche. It's all about breaking it down. What are the pains that people are facing anytime you're creating an offer? What's the pain? What's the destination? What's the end result that they want? And then how are you going to connect them from point A to point B? What vehicles are you going to use, right? What avenues, what roadways, what streets, right? So that's really it for this session. Do you guys want to see some examples on Facebook in terms of groups, in terms of posts?
I mean, I'm already in some groups, so
Okay.
I think I should be all right. But I don't know about these guys.
Byron, you said something?
Yeah, I just said I don't mind, just whatever the other guys want to do.
All right. Andy, Syed.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Syed.
All right. If you want, I have already posted one transformation post in my Facebook ID. If you want to show that, you can show to the people.
Okay. Andy?
Yeah, I've just got some specific questions, but I'm just going to message you regarding, but everything is very, very clear, so I'm quite happy. Yeah.
Sweet. All right, guys. I'll just do a short. Let me pull it up. I'll just show one demonstration of a quality group, and then if I find a post in there, I'll show it as well. Should be. It's a pretty big group.
Dude, you can go to ClickFunnels official
that's,
group.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to.
All right.
Sweet, sweet. I think I left the group though. Let me see. All right. Yeah, I don't think I need to show them. I have to wait to get accepted into the group. But what I'll do is I'll literally just create a list for you guys of some groups you can join. Now, obviously, the more people get into these groups, like it doesn't matter the size of the group. It all comes down to your content, how good you are at like, and another cool thing you guys can do is you don't even have to create content sometimes, right? You can just look at the questions people are posting or commenting, answer their questions if you have the expertise. Now you've just got someone who's interested in you because you gave them an answer to their question. So yeah, with that being said, I think Byron, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask who's gonna be in charge of the Facebook group?
Yeah, so I'll talk about that in a bit inside of the, let me see, inside of the Discord. But really what the plan is to just have a few different admins, and then you know, apart from admins is to just see how active it is. And if I need software to make it more, you know, whatever, like I have some in mind, but I want to avoid that as much as possible. But yep. So I'm gonna just end the recording now. And then yeah,